During my poorest year, I found a homeless boy playing guitar. He worked odd jobs with me and slept in the basement together. Later I told him, I'm marrying a rich man. I don't need you anymore. When we met again, the now top-tier singer cornered me, weren't you getting married? Where's your husband? I said coldly, he's dead. He pointed at himself, got a live one here. Want him? Welcome to my channel. If you like this story, please click to subscribe. There are more wonderful stories waiting for you to listen to. Chapter 1. Ethan released a new album. Unlike his previous styles, all 18 tracks were saccharine love songs. Social media exploded instantly, with fans and casual listeners alike speculating, had Ethan finally fallen in love? This would be more shocking than Sunrise in the West. After all, Ethan was notoriously known in the industry as destined to be alone. He'd once filmed a variety show with rising star Emma. Her team had prepared CP marketing materials in advance, only for Ethan to spin the lazy Susan when she tried serving him food, break abruptly when she drank water. Countless shared frames. Yet editors couldn't salvage a single romantic shot. Emma finally snapped, Ethan, you'll probably die single. Ethan snorted, relationships? Not even dogs want them. Some speculated Ethan had been dumped by an ex, becoming emotionally crippled. This theory was quickly dismissed. Netizens refused to believe any woman could resist Ethan's godlike looks. I wouldn't have believed it either, if I weren't that very ex. I hadn't planned to listen to the album, but Mandy kept playing it nearby, poking me when everyone realizes Ethan wrote these for Emma. Won't it be wild? Coincidentally, I now worked as an assistant in Emma's team, with Mandy as my colleague. Within hours, rumors about Ethan and Emma being a couple trended nationwide. The man who'd barely spoken to Emma before had allegedly written 18 songs for her. Netizens went wild shipping them, celebrating Ethan's romantic awakening and the enemies to lovers trope. That afternoon, Ethan personally visited Emma's film set during her shoot. Ethan brought treats for the whole team. Mandy hauled bags of milk tea and cakes into the lounge. Colleagues gushed between bites, Mr. Taylor's so thoughtful. Love me, love my dog, he's being nice to us because of Emma. I sat silently reviewing marketing drafts Mandy wanted me to send later. The copy claimed Ethan had loved Emma for years, that his all-or-nothing devotion proved real love. Acidic bitterness flooded my chest. Closing my laptop, I rushed to the hallway. Retching over a trash can, I looked up to meet obsidian eyes. Ethan stood beside Emma, their golden couple aura blinding. Emma noticed me first. Sophia, are you unwell? Ethan shoved hands in pockets, gaze averted with perfected indifference. I shook my head. They walked away. But Emma turned back. Sophia, are you pregnant? In my periphery, Ethan's confident stride froze. After consideration, I whispered, yes. Emma granted me half-day leave. I went to the parking lot to find my car and discovered a Maybach blocking it. Fortunately, the owner had left a contact number. When I called, a middle-aged man's voice answered. Need me to move it? Hold on. 10 minutes later, Ethan appeared before me. I froze, then stepped aside. To my surprise, he closed the distance between us. Mr. Taylor, can I help you? He jingled his keys. Didn't you request the car be moved? But the voice on the phone hadn't been his. Ethan glanced at my used Volkswagen Beetle, its shabbiness accentuated by the luxury sedan. Sophia, he sneered. Weren't you supposed to be living the high life after marrying rich? Seems like that didn't work out too well. After a steadying breath, I smiled. Doesn't matter. Congratulations on finding someone better. His eyes locked with mine, our gazes equally unreadable. Suddenly, Ethan exploded into motion, yanking me toward the Maybach. What are you doing? I struggled against his grip. You have a girlfriend. Exactly. he snapped, shoving me into the passenger seat. Wouldn't want my girlfriend's staff member stranded in the rain. The engine roared to life. His driving as volatile as his temper. My head nearly hit the dashboard before I scrambled to buckle up. Rain sheeted against the windows as I studied Ethan's reflection. The rising star wore head-to-toe black designer attire. Balenciaga sunglasses dangling carelessly from his collar. The scent of cedarwood cologne permeated the cabin, sophisticated yet distant, bearing no resemblance to the feral stray I'd found under the bridge 3 years ago. Back then, I'd discovered him clutching a battered guitar after losing a street brawl to 7 homeless men. Blood mingled with rainwater as he limped through the downpour. Against my better judgment, I'd offered my umbrella. Those cuts need treatment. The snarling wolf who'd fought tooth and nail transformed into a silent puppy as I disinfected his wounds. When I split my convenience store sandwich with him, he'd glared at the processed cheese. Want better food? I'd mocked. Go buy that $120 designer cake slice you're always eyeing. He'd eaten the sandwich without complaint. He'd slept on my floor that night. By day, I worked odd jobs while he buskied, his phenomenal voice undermined by his abrasive personality. Only the flower vendor girl earned his rare smiles. Got a crush? I'd teased. Sophia, are you brain damaged? He'd retorted. I eventually understood his motives when he showed up with roses one Friday. Sophia, he demanded. You're single, right? I'd laughed. Real smooth. Buying flowers before asking. Doesn't matter if you're not. The teenage Ethan had declared. Dump him. Choose me. Are you even legal? My laughter died as he stormed out. Roses abandoned. That night, he'd shaken me awake. This is yours. Money. Huh? I rubbed my eyes. You're even dreaming about cash. Ethan snapped. It's my ID. See? I'm legal now. Sophia and Ethan became a couple. During their first week together, he still slept on the floor, blushing at every kiss and hug. The pure-hearted sincerity of this 18-year-old boy was astonishing. Finally, Sophia patted the bed. Come up. 2 hours later, she deeply regretted this decision. The young man possessed no technique, only raw earnestness. At dawn, he pulled her into his arms and kissed her sweaty face. Sophia. Do you love me more than anyone else in the world? You're second. Ethan instantly flared up, bolting upright. Who's first? Cold hard cash. He blinked twice before consoling himself. Well, at least it's not another guy. Settling back down, he contentedly wrapped his arms around her from behind. The memories dissolved into the pounding rain outside. Ethan slammed the brakes, his Maybach stopping outside her apartment. 3 years later, she'd upgraded from basement dwelling to renting a tiny room in an old apartment building. As Sophia reached for the door handle, Ethan grabbed her wrist. Where's your husband? He demanded. Have him come get you. Silence thickened the air between them. Didn't you dump me for some rich guy? Ethan sneered. He treats his wife this poorly? Make him come down. Calmly, Sophia replied. He's at work. Sophia! Ethan's fist crashed against the steering wheel, his patience snapping. You're still lying to me? Who gets married and lives here? I asked your team. They all said you're single. Why would he ask that? What would Emma think? Not that it mattered. Emma would never feel threatened by an assistant, probably dismissing Ethan's inquiry as idle gossip. Meeting his gaze steadily, Sophia stated, he's dead. Ethan's eyes widened. Yeah, my husband's dead. She unbuckled her seatbelt. Some other woman's man. Anyway, none of your business. Sophia stepped into the downpour, instantly drenched. Ethan didn't follow as she stumbled toward the building entrance. What was the point of explanations now? She'd known from day one that Ethan would never stay. Despite his thrift store clothes, his privileged upbringing showed. Yet she'd never imagined the extent, the Taylor family. A colossal business empire spanning the nation. 18-year-old Ethan had fled after clashing with them over his music dreams. But prodigal sons always return. The Taylor family would never accept her. Emma was their ideal daughter-in-law. Trudging forward, Sophia failed to notice the pothole. She fell hard, knees slamming into the flooded pavement. A sharp pain shot through my stomach, making me retch violently. The Maybach's driver door suddenly flung open as Ethan stormed out. He wrapped his suit jacket around me and lifted me into his arms. $10,000 for every minute you keep quiet. He growled through clenched teeth. My mouth snapped shut instinctively. Christ. You really are a money-grubbing bitch. Ethan snarled, dumping me unceremoniously into the passenger seat before speeding toward the hospital. I awoke in a sterile white room, blinking at the clinical ceiling tiles. Ethan sat rigidly in the visitor's chair, frost glinting in his hazel eyes. The baby, I clutched my abdomen dramatically. Did I lose? Cut the crap. Sophia. He slapped a medical chart onto my lap. Gastritis. How the hell have you gone 28 years without learning to feed yourself properly? I wrinkled my nose. Must you always be so vulgar? Yes. Your fans would be disappointed. They know I'm an asshole. True enough. Ethan had always been all sharp edges and sharper words, never hesitating to eviscerate anyone, myself included. Yet he'd written 18 saccharine love songs for Emma. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Ethan's jaw tightened. That, he said icily, just cost you every cent of your silence money. My face drained of color as he thrust a steaming mug at me. Drink. The bitter herbal stench made me recoil. Must I? $10,000 per sip. I smirked. Promises are cheap. Ethan. He snatched my phone, scanning his payment app with violent jabs. The digital cha-ching of incoming transfers had me gulping the vile concoction before the notification finished chiming. Disappointingly little liquid for all that fuss, 3 swallows and it was gone. When I looked up, Ethan wore an expression I hadn't seen since our college days, soft around the edges. Almost tender. It vanished the instant our eyes met. Ethan, I said quietly, if you're trying to get back together, don't flatter yourself. His laugh held no warmth. I need you healthy enough to keep managing Emma's career. That's all. His gaze raked my face, hunting for cracks in my composure. The heart monitor beeped in the heavy silence. Fuck. Ethan suddenly hurled his cigarette case against the wall. This isn't how Emma said it would go. Jesus. Sophia, were you ever even in love with me? The door slammed behind him. I stared at the trembling four-stand, throat tightening. Had he wanted jealousy? There'd been a time when I'd burned with it constantly. Back when Ethan's stupidly perfect bone structure turned grocery runs into gauntlets of swooning middle-aged women tossing free produce into our bags. When entire afternoons evaporated escaping marriage-crazed parents at the park. Our laughter echoing through oak trees. Now I traced the lipstick stain on the mug, cherry red. Not Emma's signature nude. The medicine turned bitter in my throat. 18-year-old Ethan Taylor poked me and asked, "What's wrong?" I sneered. "Someone's quite the popular one." Huh? Ethan touched his face. Preening. Of course. How else could I be worthy of being your husband? I rolled my eyes. You haven't even proposed yet. He scratched his head sheepishly. Still saving up for the ring. To earn money. Ethan started singing at a high-end bar. On his second night, I got the call. Ethan had gotten into trouble. Some woman had stuffed cash down his collar while groping his abs, asking his price for the night. He'd thrown the money back and stormed out. The next day, 8 thugs cornered him. When I reached the hospital, Ethan lay motionless with a fractured right arm and 2 broken ribs. I threw myself at his bedside. His eyes fluttered open as he weakly wiped my tears. "Don't cry," he rasped, wincing with each word. Why didn't you tell me about that woman? I demanded. He avoided my gaze. Was scared you'd get mad. I pressed my lips into a thin line. Ethan tugged my hand to his toned stomach. She never touched them. He whispered. Only you get to. Tears spilled over as I stroked his hair. After tucking him in, I marched out to face the scar-faced leader waiting outside. Better back off. Sweetheart. He sneered. We've got connections. Sunshine Garden. Building A. Unit 1003. I stated coolly. You're MS. Sue's cousin. The same MS. Sue who's sleeping with North City Steel's chairman. His face drained of color as the door burst open. Ethan stood trembling in his hospital gown. Deathly pale but radiating fury. After negotiating triple compensation and a non-disclosure agreement, Ethan hugged me later. My badass wife. I shoved him away. Nearly get yourself killed again and I'm done with you. Back then, he'd loved riling me up proof I cared. Was writing 18 sweet songs for Emma just another twisted test? The thought vanished instantly. Ridiculous. Ethan and Emma had 100 million combined fans. Albums cost millions. As if he'd waste that effort on some ex. The album's first track glared at me, innocent heart. Right. Sophia, the woman who'd sold their love for cash matched innocent like oil-matched water. Scrolling through social media, my finger froze on a trending hashtag Ethan Taylor cheating. A gossip account posted 18 photos. Ethan Taylor spotted at hospital with unidentified woman, quickly trended. By the time I saw it, multiple new versions had already emerged. Numerous alleged hospital insiders came forward, claiming Ethan had taken the woman for a prenatal checkup. Still writing love songs for our Emma while secretly having a love child? Emma Roberts' fanbase erupted in outrage, flooding every news post with furious comments frowny face scumbag. Keep writing songs? Why don't you drop dead? Pretending to be lonely while secretly fathering children classy move. As photos were enhanced, my face became recognizable. Isn't that Emma's assistant? Right. She's in all the fan photos from Emma's promotional events. Doxed. Her name's Sophia Clark. Instantly, the backlash shifted to me. A tsunami of hate comments flooded in frowny face home-wrecking slut. Seducing Emma's man while working on her team disgusting. Can't even trust your own staff. Only a handful of neutrals ventured frowny face wait, did Ethan and Emma ever officially date? Wasn't that just fan speculation? But these were drowned in the vitriolic storm. Comment sections became battlegrounds between Ethan's fans defending, accompanying someone to the hospital doesn't prove anything. Friends do that too. And Emma's supporters countering, open your eyes. Look how he's protecting her. Chain smoking outside the 4-room with that worried look. Might as well tattoo I'm the father on his forehead. Studying Ethan's photo haggard outside the hospital room, I wondered, had he really been this concerned when I collapsed from stomach pain? Yet 3 years ago, he'd slammed the door shouting, "Don't come crawling to me even if you're dying." My thoughts churned until an unknown number flashed on my phone. Fumbling to answer, I heard, "Sophie. Remember me?" My chest tightened. I knew that voice instantly, Ethan's mother. 3 years earlier, that same frosty politeness had delivered, "Sophie. You'll break up with Ethan eventually. Do it yourself. And I'll compensate you. If I intervene, you'll both suffer and you'll get nothing. Name your price to dump him." Resistance was futile. Mrs. Taylor always orchestrated everything in advance. True to form. Black-suited men materialized at my hospital door moments after I hung up. They escorted me to the Taylor estate, the palatial mansion I'd only seen in dramas now looming before me again. Mrs. Taylor sat rigidly on her mahogany chair. "Sophia, you'll destroy him." Her gaze sharpened. "Are you pregnant?" My stomach spasmed as I shook my head. No. Ethan and I haven't spoken in years. He was visiting Emma's set when we crossed paths. He just gave me a ride to the hospital. Mrs. Taylor pondered. Weighing solutions. Why? The single word hung between us like unsheathed steel. I didn't speak. The voice came from the doorway. Ethan shoved the door open and strode in. He positioned himself between me and Mrs. Taylor, dropping into the chair across from her. What gives you the right to issue that statement? The matriarch's face darkened. Ethan, do you realize how dangerous public opinion can be? This could destroy your career. He barked out a humorless laugh. My career? His fingers whitened around the chair back. Since when did you ever care about that? How many guitars did you smash to force me into business school? How many demo tapes did you burn before I finally made it? If I hadn't blown up domestically and overseas, would you still acknowledge your disgraceful son? Mrs. Taylor's complexion turned ashen. Mother, what you value isn't a career, it's applause and adoration. As long as I have my guitar and my voice, my career remains untouchable. He grabbed my elbow roughly. We're leaving. I stumbled after him down 3 flights of marble stairs before he practically threw me into the Maybach's passenger seat. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. The telltale sign I'd learned meant he was fighting to control his temper. Ethan. What? Your mother, she's not entirely wrong. Screw that. Your songwriting matters. People need to hear it. I swallowed hard. I listened to the new album. It's brilliant. His shoulders jerked. You heard it? Yeah. My fingers found the door release. Which is why her damage control makes sense. I'll get out here before paparazzi spot us. More photos would tank your public image worse. As my foot touched pavement, his hand clamped around my wrist like a manacle. Sophia, his voice cracked. Why? Why would you think I care more about any of that bullshit than you? I froze. When I turned, his eyes were red-rimmed, a shocking sight from the man who'd weathered countless online hate campaigns without flinching. Are you crying? No. Just the fucking comments. He jerked his face away. Does it hurt? After endless seconds, his chin dipped in a barely perceptible nod. It kills me seeing you hurt like this. The words exploded from him. Who gives them the right? A few blurry photos and they're calling you every filthy name. His throat worked. Sunlight catching the moisture tracking down his cheekbone. Ethan, who'd faced death threats and boycott campaigns without blinking, was crying. For me. Hey. He kept his face averted. I poked his rigid shoulder. I'm okay. Really? My laugh sounded brittle. Did I ever tell you about my childhood? He stilled. I never shared my past. My mother was a cocktail waitress when she met my father. Turns out he had 3 kids and a wife in the suburbs. My nails bit into my palms. Growing up, even buying groceries meant neighbors pointing at me, that bastard child from the whore's womb. Suddenly I was crushed against his chest. His heartbeat thundering through both our rib cages. His tears soaked into my hair as he whispered, "Never again. I swear on my guitar. No one's ever going to hurt you like that again." His embrace was too tight. The scent of cedarwood from his chest enveloping me. Intoxicating enough to make me want to drown in it. I didn't dare linger in these arms. Struggling to break free only to be held tighter. Exhaustion finally hit me. I hadn't slept in over 24 hours. My stomach ache a constant torment. Eventually, I fell asleep against Ethan's chest. I woke in my own bed. Ethan sat slumped beside me, head bowed. He'd fallen asleep too. The sight of him in bespoke tailoring looked absurdly out of place in this shabby little apartment. But after a moment's thought, I chose not to wake him. Grabbing a blanket, I quietly draped it over his shoulders. He stirred instantly. "Don't you dare run," he growled, seizing my wrist the second his eyes opened. I flinched. "Sophia," he bit out. "I've already scoped this entire dump. You don't have some rich fucking husband. Lie to me one more time and you're dead." 3 years ago, after meeting Mrs. Taylor, I'd come home clutching a Chanel bag and told Ethan a wealthy man wanted to marry me. That I was choosing money over him. Between you and cash? Easy choice. Now, with the lie exposed, I sat silent on the bed. Ethan stood, his height looming over me with terrifying intensity. Sophia, he ground out. Don't you fucking dare say you never loved me. I didn't. I said flatly. I just wanted your body. I aim to provoke an 18-year-old pop with that kind of physique. Free of charge? Seemed wasteful not to. The fury that crossed his face wasn't what I expected. With one violent motion, he ripped open his shirt. My body's better now. He roared. Still fucking free. Want it? Then take it. I glanced, then pointedly looked away. Swallowed hard. Aren't you with Emma? Fake. He exploded. How fucking blind are you? You get to parade some imaginary sugar daddy. But I can't play along? I sighed. Ethan. Sorry. He muttered suddenly, voice dropping. I'll fix this. How? Quit the industry. Go back to busking under overpasses like before. I inhaled sharply, anger spiking. He'd never understand how desperately I cared about his career, the career I'd sacrificed everything to protect 3 years ago. Someone this brilliant shouldn't be dragged down with me. The world needed to see him shine. Ethan. What? You still want me back? He froze, then slowly crouched by the bed, eyes blazing to life. 3 years later, I continued gently. This washed-up busker? Not my style anymore. Leaning closer, I whispered, but a rising star blazing his path? That, I might consider. Standing abruptly, I declared, if you want another chance, you don't get to self-destruct. He left. When I finally reached the green room, he was already deep in negotiation with Emma. She raised an eyebrow at my entrance but kept addressing Ethan. Our teams agreed on this PR relationship. My new film needs buzz. Your album needs traction. You approved this yourself. He'd been facing away, unaware of my presence. At Emma's pause, he turned and froze mid-motion seeing me. I'm just saying. Emma continued coolly. This was mutually beneficial. We ride the publicity wave. Let it fade naturally. Fans would assume it was fake or over. No harm to my projects or your romantic pursuits. Her gaze sharpened. This mess exploded because you lost control. Your impulsive stunts made people believe it was real. Emma said calmly. Am I right, Ethan? Ethan hung his head like a dejected puppy. Emma turned to me. Sophia, in your mind, am I just some vicious supporting character too? No. What you've always wanted is the spotlight. I sat beside her. Emma, you have 2 PR strategies now. The first is the safest route, complete radio silence. But you know this approach would reduce you to a bland victim in the narrative. People would forget about you before the next trending topic. Worse yet, I continued, the cheating scandal with some ordinary girl narrative actually damages your star power. Especially when you're campaigning for that femme fatale role, the charming yet ruthless socialite who bewitches men. Emma lifted her gaze, eyes sharpening. Tell me the second option. The alternative is high risk, high reward. I leaned forward. But if we pull this off, you'll make entertainment history as the first to ever attempt this. Her perfectly arched eyebrows shot up. I watched the spark of adrenaline ignite in her eyes, the same fire I'd seen during late-night strategy sessions when she'd declare, bad publicity still gets my name trending, or fortune favors the bold. That night, Emma faced a press pool of 50 journalists and dropped the bombshell that shook Hollywood. Of course we fabricated the relationship. Everyone does, I'm just the first honest enough to admit it. The entertainment reporters sat stunned as she smirked. Why would Ethan play along? That lovesick fool just wanted to make his ex jealous. She gestured toward imaginary camera lenses. Yes. The same Sophia you've all been stalking. He's been pining for her since their ramen noodle days but was too chicken to face rejection. By midnight, 8 of the top 10 trending topics revolved around Emma. The internet exploded with memes dubbing her the only authentic celebrity in Hollywood and queen of the power play. When she handed me the bonus check, Emma's designer bracelets clinked against the marble desk. You've earned this. Now here's the real offer. I'm launching my own agency. Be my chief communications officer. Her scarlet nails tapped the contract. Rumor says my rivals are circling. Will you stay? I owe you. I said truthfully. When my last boss embezzled our payroll, you gave me triple the standard rate. That kept me off the food truck circuit. For the first time, Emma's polished demeanor cracked. She leaned close. Chanel, no. 5 wafting between us as she whispered. Full disclosure, Ethan begged me to hire you. Her shrug sent diamond earrings glittering. But I kept you because you're damn good at this. Now I get why he's obsessed. Across town, Ethan gave his own explosive interview. All 18 tracks on the album are about Sophia. When she lied about being married, his voice cracked theatrically. I imagined her husband squirming through my concert while I serenaded her. Petty? Maybe. But love makes fools of us all. Twitter's verdict trended within minutes. Frowny face, hashtag pathetic prince, hashtag grow up Ethan, hashtag team Sophie, unbelievable. Looking for a boyfriend with the same hopeless romantic vibes? If not, an ex with those tendencies will do. Thankfully, Ethan's public image had always been wildly unpredictable, so nobody accused him of reputation collapse. After everything settled, one morning I stepped outside to find him waiting by my building wearing designer sunglasses. He blinked at me. Why are you dressed up like that? Going on a date? To piss you off? His face twisted with irritation. I cut him off. Could be real though. Emma told me you were coming, so I put in effort. He froze mid-rant. Before I could finish, Ethan exploded. I accept. Accept what? Marriage. Aren't you here to date me? He grabbed my wrist. I declare this date successful. Let's get married. Since when did relationships move at warp speed? Don't care. Ethan started dragging me down the street. Once we get the license, you can't run anymore, right? Obviously. The Taylor family would never approve our union. Ethan promptly texted them 2 red marriage certificates photoshopped fakes. I rolled my eyes. Did he think Mrs. Taylor wouldn't notice? Especially since the legal marriage age for men is 22, and he's still 2 months shy. Surprisingly, Ethan had complaints too. Sophia, you're such a skilled actress. Go deceive my mother instead of torturing me. Let's tell her we're expecting. She'll have to accept it then. I laughed bitterly. Ethan, there are other things I lied about. He grew quiet. Me too. Like when I swore I'd never come crawling back, yet here I was the next day. His voice dropped. I raided my childhood piggy banks at home. Figured if you only wanted money, I could provide that too. Just stay. But you ghosted me faster than anyone in history. I stayed silent. I'd fled that apartment like escaping disaster. Knew that if he showed up pleading even 1 day later, I'd never find strength to leave. Those rich benefactors were fake, right? If any money changed hands, only Mom would. He suddenly perked up. Hey, how much did she offer you? I turned away. Sleep time. Ethan flipped me back. Talk. Or no sleep for you tonight. 5 million. Mom's not that cheap. 10. Sophia. I can smell your bullshit through the mattress. His tickle attack made me shriek until I cracked. I didn't take her money. Ethan froze. After a moment, he smacked my forehead. Sophia. Are you out of your mind? Did water get in your brain? Take the damn money when it's offered. I thought you loved cash more than anything. True. I shifted into a more comfortable position, murmuring, I think my brain's waterlogged too. But I couldn't get past that mental block back then. When she asked how much it'd cost to leave you, I kept wondering, what's Ethan's actual monetary value to me? Couldn't figure it out. Seriously. Not even a ballpark estimate. So I decided, screw the money. That way, Ethan would stay priceless to me. Silence stretched between us until I finally turned my head. Ethan pressed his palm against my cheek, preventing me from looking. Are you crying? No. Ethan. Your tears come cheap. Get lost. Typical Ethan, all contradictions. While shouting get lost, he flipped the comforter open and dragged me under. The air grew thick, our breathing turning ragged. Ethan. I love you. Even during those 3 years of lies. I never stopped. He paused before brushing his lips against mine. Yeah. I know. 15. Ethan's perspective 3 years apart. And the mere thought of Sophia made Ethan grind his teeth. He pictured her married to some rich dude, probably popping out kids while gleefully counting stacks of cash daily. She did always worship money. Each mental image left him seething. With zero ethical restraint, Ethan viciously imagined Sophia's husband, some balding, paunchy fossil with more money than charm. The type who'd flash a Chanel bag on first dates to trick young women into marriage. Wait, if the guy's ancient, wouldn't he kick the bucket sooner? This delightful thought instantly improved Ethan's mood. He became convinced their reunion was inevitable. He threw himself into gym sessions with renewed vigor. When we get back together, I'll make damn sure she compares me to that old coot. Everyone called him immature, his mother, friends, colleagues, whatever. If Benjamin meant staying loyal to one person forever, he'd wear that label proudly. Besides, Sophia remained irreplaceable. Ethan had envisioned countless reunion scenarios, but none involved spotting her at a night market grill station. Dark circles bruised her eyes, exhaustion clinging to her like second skin. What happened? Didn't she marry into wealth? His first instinct was to charge over, but he froze mid-step. Knowing Sophia, any offer of help, cash or jobs, would earn him a skillet to the face. He sought Emma's advice instead. Unlike other starlets who threw themselves at him, the actress showed zero romantic interest, focusing solely on her career, which oddly made her decent company. When their agents proposed a fake dating PR stunt, Ethan normally would have refused. But the possibility of making Sophia jealous, 10 times salary, Ethan demanded during their strategy call. Bill everything to me. Emma rolled her eyes so hard it echoed through the phone. Ethan, do you think everyone's as clueless about money as you? She'll think I'm running a pyramid scheme. No sane person would accept this. After the incident, paparazzi kept snapping photos of Ethan visiting Emma. In reality, he was just pestering her for information about Sophia. Was Sophia actually married? Was she doing okay? Why had she gotten so thin? Emma grew increasingly annoyed, finally snapping, Ethan, I can't believe the world thinks I'm into you. You babble about Sophia morning, noon, and night. Do you ever talk about anything else? I've got Hollywood looks and a Victoria's Secret body. My suitors could line the Pacific Coast Highway. If I actually fell for some guy obsessing over another woman, I'd need my head examined. Ethan couldn't care less about Emma's feelings. The only opinion that mattered was whether Sophia might still harbor some affection for him. He started sending daily dessert deliveries to Emma's team, ignoring her protests. I'm on a keto diet. Stop with the damn cupcakes. Relax. They're not for you. He exclusively ordered from Cheesy's Bakery, the place teenage Sophia used to press her nose against, sighing about how their $20 slice cakes were daylight robbery. Now he had his assistant deliver every flavor daily. Raspberry? She cleaned the plate. Chocolate? Barely touched. Pistachio? Overheard her telling coworkers it was to die for. Ethan started journaling these observations in a leather-bound notebook. When he and Sophia reconciled, this treasure trove of insights would make her ugly cry with remorse. Except Sophia suddenly stopped eating desserts altogether. He once caught her vomiting near office trash cans. When Emma asked if she was pregnant, Sophia actually said yes. Ethan's world imploded. He stormed into his dressing room and hurled the notebook into the wastebasket, only to fish it out 30 minutes later. Would he really end up raising another man's child? Maybe he should Google how to bond with stepkids preemptively. Visions of building Legos with some faceless toddler already haunted him. Turns out it was just gastritis, Sophia's pregnancy act being another elaborate ruse. God. Why did he keep falling for her schemes? Whatever. He'd take the L. Then the cyberbullying scandal hit. Ethan didn't mind the hate comments after a decade in showbiz. Trolls just made him mutter "bless your heart" and scroll on. But every vicious word aimed at Sophia felt like shrapnel tearing through his ribs. He busted her out of the hospital. Taylor family security detail clearing their path. She kept insisting she was fine during the car ride until she passed out mid-sentence. Fishing her keys from the Gucci bag, he carried her into the apartment. The cramped studio reeked of instant ramen and broken promises. You couldn't swing a cat here, let alone hide a secret husband. She'd lied for years. He wanted to hate her. But the anger dissolved into heartache when he spotted the financial ledger on her desk, every cent meticulously tracked. From rent payments to dollar store shampoo purchases. She actually kept track of every dollar and cent. What a penny pincher. Ethan flipped through the pages until his gaze landed on an entry, $15 spent on Spotify. She'd bought his digital album. As he kept scrolling, he noticed identical purchases every few months. She'd bought every single one of his releases over the years. This was how she'd lived all along, no mythical wealthy husband who died young. Just her alone meticulously budgeting, balancing expensive breakfasts with cheap dinners. Even while pinching pennies. She never missed buying his albums. Suddenly he was transported back to that night 3 years ago. Her arms wrapped around his waist as she whispered against his ear with that sunshine smile, "Ethan, you're going to be a superstar someday." In this moment, he realized he'd give it all up. He'd trade every bit of fame just to have her back. Later, he discovered she'd never taken his mother's money. That Chanel bag she'd carried was a fake, had he bothered to look closely. He'd have noticed the misspelled logo. He didn't ask why she kept lying to him. He already knew the answer, because she loved him. She was too proud yet insecure, swallowing every jealous thought to avoid jeopardizing his future. But not this time. He wouldn't fall for her act anymore. He'd make her understand that even when he had nothing, she'd always been his greatest treasure. The end.